a big part of a project, as I say, is how you run your teams. And people were getting downhearted. You know, there was gangrene, there was all this problem, there was all kinds of problem with, although they say the gangrene is from the opium that they kept shooting inside the toes, but I was like, whatever. Anyway, though, people were getting downhearted. They didn't like the rain. They hated the rain. They were like, they're like, it's always raining here. It's miserable. We don't like it here. We want to go home. We want to quit and go home. And so I was like, all right, I need to change this around. And so, anyway, a lot of things happened over the Panama Canal. It was a very big part of my thing too. I was like, all right, and I even had a house or a building or a complex built, town built that was away from the rain. I was like, we need to get a place that's away from the rain, where these people can spend 3 months there and they can relax and be fed and just kick it, you know, and think about the Panama Canal. And so like I kept these, you know, I went around, at first I was paying by the day and labor and all that stuff, and I was like, all right, no, let's do salary. So I started doing salary. You know, people were paid a certain amount, and I was like, all right, so I want these people to work 3 months and then they'll go somewhere else for about 3 months or something. We tried these different ways where like people would go away for 3 months and then come back and then go away, you know, and they were on salary. And so I had all these different groups, you know, and I had like 4 teams. I had, or 7 teams. If you look at the Panama Canal and how it was built, and you actually like break out all the information, like Panama. If you break out all the information, you actually see that that the way it was built in sections. You know, there was tunnels and there was mining and and I had aerial flyovers to look at the different spots, and I dropped bombs on a couple of spots, and we used nukes. We used like 2 nuclear bombs or something to loosen up the material. We got like shockwave. I had someone working on like the shockwave of the explosion or something like that to just break and explode the ground, because I was like, we need to shatter this rock. And because it was really hard rock, I mean, stuff that you couldn't really need. And it was so much material. I mean, we're talking about, there was like a mountain in our way or something like that. And it was some really hard stuff. Anyway, all kinds of stuff happened over Panama. And it was over like 150 years, actually, or 250 years, pretty much. And it was a massive project. I mean, massive, absolutely massive. And everyone was like, it's impossible. I was like, don't worry about it. Anyway, though, so I started having people like take time off and then go back on. I mean, America actually became like Lucifer White Star. Like it became like, it was like my great work. Like people were like, I mean, like a lot of goods, a lot of cars, a lot of material. I mean, a lot of metal objects actually ended up being made from the Panama just because we had so much material, and it took like 150 years, and they even had like a dam to dam up the water, and we actually had power generation from there, and I think we actually started doing melting of rock or something to actually, we were making like steam engines and all kinds of stuff, and like trains and railways and stuff like that, and it actually ended up like my country was the country of Panama. It's like we love it. The country of Panama loves you. Because like, yeah, I know. It was like my insane, like people were like, you're nuts. It's like, yeah, ain't it cool? Anyway, I did a lot of stuff. I mean, like that's why I was alive for as, you know, I aged with America, because it was my incredibly insane project that was like, you're right, it's working. It's like, yeah, I know. Never know until you look, or until you start digging. Like, I really want to go there because it's like, it's my country, like the country of Panama. Like, it was my rules, my stuff, and there's a lot of history there, and a lot of stuff. I mean, you know, the food of Panama too. I mean, my workers needed food. You know, and that's another thing, is what grows, and it rains like 70% of the year. I had a rain report done. It's like, it grows 70% of the year. It's like, what grows? How am I going to feed these people? You know, and there's water systems and all kinds of stuff. And, you know, like I said, I had British teams on it. I had German teams on it. I think I even had an Australian team, India team. I mean, they would tell you like you got the world right here in Panama. Like the world was right there in Panama. Like British people were like, you know, and like depending on where you were in Panama, It was like, it's actually Lucifer. Like, I actually love, I want to go there because, like, and drive it because, like, that is Lucifer White Star Lines as well. Steam train, steel. It was my Panama project because I was like, you can get a thing across there. We are going to get a thing across there. It's just a matter of how we do it. And so, yeah, and he agreed. Most people would look at me and like, you're nuts. It's like, yes, I know I'm nuts. Fine. But we're still going to do it. Anyway, so, because I said we were going to do it, and, I was like, just pick a spot where it's narrow and just, because we got to get stuff across. So, yeah. Anyway, I know. And massive amounts of drugs are transported through there and other things. And, it was Germany. They said, Mein Führer, the Hitler, is going through there. It's like, yes, everyone posted it as this great world project, and it was mine. So, and I was right, and lots of stuff. It was one of my, you are what your projects are, or your gambles, as they say. That they would say, you are what your gamble is. What's your gamble? A lot of people would say, what's your gamble? It's like, well, the world, the Panama Canal would work, that there was metal and minerals in there, and I had Indians there, I had Aztec, me and Panama go back way far. I had a trail going there doing the opium and elephants, and and they were pulling the material off to get down to the rock. I was like, well, just pull the dirt off or whatever, get down to the rock. And it's like my Panama Canal gamble that there was a narrow spot. I was like, pick a narrow spot and we're going to go across it because you got to get to California. Because, I want shipping on both sides. Because it turns out it's easier to go from that continent to this. I don't know. Anyway, I was like, I want a canal through there. I want a canal through there. And then a bridge over it. Come on. Anyway, like I said, they found copper there. They found titanium. I think maybe even there's some really hard rock there. They found a couple things, and they were trying to do it at an even rate. And they're like, well, anyway, it was like 1,000 feet or something that they would have to lower. And I was like, okay, well, we'll just do locks then. That's fine. Anyway, I didn't know that the two oceans, they say the two oceans are different levels. It's like the British actually found that out. The British were going through there, and they're like, well, there's about 1,000 feet difference, and that's why we're having so much problem. I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. 1,000 feet, you say? And there actually are two tunnels that there actually is two tunnels that actually run underneath that go at the other ocean's length. That's another thing, is the power conversion process is actually, there's actually two tunnels that let out that actually go the length of the thing, and actually takes water from the top thing that actually runs the pumps that actually run Panama. It's actually a hydro dam. Panama is actually a hydro dam system. And that's another thing that no one knows about, is that that Panama is actually a hydro dam as well as a canal. The power that runs the motors that run the pump that actually pump the water actually come from the water channel that goes between the difference in the two oceans. So most people don't even know that. Anyway, and it's been like that since 1800 or something like that. I was like, well, we can use this. So, most people don't even know that part of it. There's so much like Panama, the city of Panama. Like Panama is like my thing, and like I had all this other engineering in it. And yeah, I could talk forever about Panama.